What's going on, fellow bears and party people? Papa Bear of Papa Bear Knives here, and today I would like to talk about a knife that I had just gotten in. Yes, it's not one of my own. It's not a PBK. I still have this addiction to hardened steel with edges on them, despite who the maker is. It's a true sickness, guys. It is. You know, even though I can make them myself, I still love to support other makers, big and small. That's how you know it is a true sickness. Anyway, if you had read the title, you would know it is a Bark River Knives Quartermaster EDC. It's this guy right here. I had gotten this in maybe 2 days ago, and I immediately, when I pulled it out of the box, I immediately said, oh my goodness, I got to show this to the guys on the channel. I mean, this thing is just beautiful. Now, the Quartermaster EDC is just a smaller version of the Bark River Knives Quartermaster. The Quartermaster is, I couldn't tell you, but about that much bigger maybe. My hand doesn't want to get straight. I need to figure out camera angles and everything. So, yeah, it's about that much bigger, maybe a little bit bigger than that. I don't own a Bark River Knives Quartermaster, although I would really like to own the Quartermaster. But the Quartermaster's EDC will be sufficient for now. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and just jump straight into the usage of the Quartermaster EDC and have fun with it, because this really is a fun EDC size knife that will excel with camp and bushcraft chores, as well as your normal everyday carry tasks as well. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of that light batoning. You know, the stuff that everybody loves to hate. I don't know why. It's a joy. It is a fun thing to do, as long as you don't overpush your limits of your knife. This is a smaller knife, so we're going to baton smaller pieces of wood. Something that's already been broken down with something like, say, an axe. Now I've gotten to the smaller pieces. Sure, I can keep swinging the axe on a small piece, but I want to do something a little bit more controlled, and that's where the batoning with the knife comes into play. Yes, those birds are really loud right now. Start with the small side. Try and get it to where you guys can see it better. Now, this piece of wood that I'm batoning right here actually had a knot in it somewhere, so it's going to struggle just a little bit. But the way it looks like it's doing pretty well. That went through pretty quick and easy. Hey, get back in that wood. try and jump out of that wood. All right, we'll do one more. Split this piece down just a little bit more. And go ahead and run some feathers on it. That's what I wanted you to do. Now, one thing about this particular knife is it's got a Scandivex grind. I personally hate a Scandi grind. I do. I freaking hate them. I prefer a flat grind, and after a flat grind, I would prefer a convex grind. And just because this Scandi grind has a convex shoulders on it does not make it any better. Regardless of the grind itself, the performance of this thing, let's do that first. That first feather on that thing curls up nicely. Now, while I'm doing this, I will say I've had come and go quite a few Bark River knives. To name a few, the Bark River Bravo, the Bark River North Country EDC, the JX6. My favorite was the Bark River Cub. That was a big guy. And they all had hair popping edges right out of the box. This one, however, this one did not have a hair popping edge right out of the box. It also didn't have a industry standard paper cutting edge right out of the box either, so I had to touch it up. And that's fine, that's not a big deal. When you're a large company like Bark River Knives, that does tend to happen sometimes. And that's nothing against them, it's just, you know, you might have been in a rush. You never know, right? You never know. And if you're a knife person, you can put a better edge on it yourself anyway. If you're not a knife person, the edge itself, no, it did not cut paper, but it was still able to feather a stick. So, I mean, it did what it needed to do, provided you wanted to use it for any kind of bushcraft tasks. Now, if you notice, I started doing it this way, and this way for me is much more comfortable, and it works very well doing it this way, doing the feathers this way. But I wanted to switch to a, I guess some people call it the hammer, some people call it the fist grip. I wanted to switch over so I could see how well it would feel in my hand doing it this way. And it feels good. It feels like it belongs. But I prefer doing it this way. This is just how I like to do it. But nonetheless, got a decent feather stick going there. Now, I don't think that has a very sharp spine, and I also didn't bring a ferro rod with me, so what we'll do is, well, some pretty fine shavings there using that spine, and that's actually comfortable to do it this way too. Now I'm gonna have to pause you guys and go get a ferro rod. Let me go grab me my Exotac ferro rod. And look at that. Fine shavings from the spine on there. Yeah, this should be able to strike a ferro rod. All right. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. I got my Exotac ferro rod here, and the goal is to get this thing to light up. Then it's on a stick, so this might be a little difficult. Oops. Oh yeah, that's gonna definitely scrape this ferro rod. Ah, sorry, Sap. Hey, don't burn my sheath. Get out of here. Over here trying to burn the sheath. I'll tell you what, though, that spine actually works really well. When you feel it like this, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a very sharp spine. But it actually is. It's a pretty sharp spine. All right, now. Let me just rain sparks down on it. Come on now, catch wood. I don't know what this wood is, but this stuff is terrible at catching on fire, let me tell you. Take a lighter to it and it still won't catch worth a crap. Let me try something different here. This is going to take a little bit longer than I anticipated, but that's okay. Put that down there. All right, this is gonna work. There you go. So the Quartermaster EDC will get your fire going as well. It took a little bit of extra time. Had nothing to do with the knife, more so the wood that I was using. But it's beautiful. And I was comfortable doing that the whole entire time too. It was. Peep the sheath. That's your belt connection. It's comfortable regardless of whether you have it through your belt here or through your belt there. Fits in there nice and deep. And believe it or not, this is a good size package that you could just pop it in your pocket. It disappears into your pocket, but you know it's there. So if you wanted to carry it that way, and you could probably get yourself an Ulti-clip and put it through there somehow. That way it's Ulti-clipped to your pocket like that. And you just, you know what? I might go ahead and go grab one of my Ulti-clips and just do that just to show you guys. I'll do that here in just a few minutes. All right, let me get this stuff off of here. We're done with that. Do one more, couple more tests. Cross batoning. Now this thing is not going to be a very good chopper. I don't know. I wanted to do a quick little headshake. It's doing pretty good actually. Do this. Ow! Hit my finger on that log. I had a delayed response on that too, but it hurt. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, that carves beautifully. Nice little point on there. Let's see. Let's notch it. A lot of surface to notch. It's not that deep of a notch, but it'll notch perfectly fine. We'll do maybe it's that Scandivex that I hate helping that. Let's do one more thing for all those bushcrafters out there. Let's do a quick little bow drill divot Man, that drills nicely. And even with its smaller handle, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit longer of a handle, maybe about 1/4 of an inch longer. It's still very comfortable, whether you're doing the feathers, batoning, or even this divot. This Quartermaster EDC was thought out very well. And Bark River's really good at that. Despite the fact that they have like 300 different models, they do very well with all their models that they produce. It's a nice little divot in there. All right, guys, that is the Bark River Knives Quartermaster EDC. Put this back up. I wanted to share this with you guys. This is the first Bark River knife I've bought in probably a year. And like I said, I've owned quite a few of them. I'm sure I'll own more Bark Rivers within my lifetime. They are great knives. And despite the fact that I make them myself, not Bark River, but make knives myself, I still have that ridiculous love for hardened and sharpened steel. So, hey, this is Papa Bear recommended, especially if you're looking for something with a very classic look, a very clean, classic look to EDC.